Hello, everyone, and welcome to a podcast that took ages to get back to. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. It's just, I've been busy with things. Let me just quickly turn down the bitrate here, because I saw that go red for a moment. Let me go ahead and bring up Discord here. So, podcast. I think this is gonna work. Hold on. Let me go properties here. I think this is the correct YouTube one. Not for sure. I hope so. Okay. At YouTube and live with podcast. How's everyone today? Waiting for people to come in. I'm not sure if anyone's gonna come in. I'm not sure if this is the correct chat. It's a bit of a problem. Hello. Just 1 second. Properties. Copy. Cancel. Goodbye. Okay. Properties. Bam. There's no one here? Sad days, man. Okay, so apparently no one's here. There we go, okay. Alright, so. Topics. There we go, everyone's showing up. Alright. So I had to BRB, because my internet had to be shut down for a thing, and now I'm just gonna go ahead and do the podcast. It's been a long time since I've done one. So let me go ahead and start this by quickly checking the topics, the suggested topics, podcast ideas, and then I'll probably get into my own thing. And the topic that I'll get into is a little controversial, so okay. Let me see here. Alright. So starting off, here's one. From Sir Waffles, Maximus the Second Boy, which is just Waffles. I don't know what's up with his name. Get banned. How can we keep a level from dying? In parentheses, going through tons of creators because they can't verify the level and losing all of its hype and nerfing it just to beat it. Well, this sounds exactly like what happened to Blade of Justice, and well, in regards to that, you can't necessarily stop something that's about inevitable, because if a bunch of people are set to verify it and they just quit on it, they might have other things to do, and of course they may have lives to take care of. So not everyone's going to be able to spend their entire time trying to verify a level on some game. So there's not really any way to keep a level from dying, so to speak, if it's going to die. Because if a level is going to lose its hype, it's gonna lose its hype. There's no way stopping it, and it's not worth trying to stop it. There's no point trying to, because, well, it just depends. It's just how it's going down. And in regards to nerfing it, it's perfectly fine, because again, like I said, this exact fate was what happened to Blade of Justice, to where there were multiple verifiers. They all quit because they had other projects or just didn't want to play anymore. And it got to the point to where Manix said, you know what, I'm sick of this, I want this level out, I'm just gonna go ahead and have the person who's verifying it now nerf it, and then it'd be done. And that's what happened. And yes, Blade of Justice did go against its promise of being one of the hardest demons in the game, if not the hardest. But it still was an amazing level. It's still a cool level, and I really like it. But the point is that it was inevitable. If Manix wanted it to be out as soon as possible, he had every right to decide to just go ahead and nerf it so it can be out faster. because at this point, Blade of Justice was in the back of people's minds due to things like Bloodlust, and he's just thinking, you know what, I want this out, I'm sick of it. And there's nothing we can do about that, right? If other things come up, we may be focused on other things in the community. Trying to focus our attention on one thing for months, it won't work out. Unless there's a lot of hype still going on because someone's verifying it. The problem with like Blade of Justice was that it was constantly being passed to a new person, meaning the entire cycle of verification restarted multiple times. And it just became something that not many people were really caring about anymore. And Manic saw that, so he thought, you know what, I'm sick of it, I'm just gonna get rid of it. And he said, nerf it. Frosty, that's the point. You can't stop a level from dying. If people in the community are losing interest in something, you yourself can't control that. If they're losing interest in something, they're losing interest in something. They all have their own interests, and when they're sick and tired of being hyped about one level, you know what? They're losing interest about it. Nothing wrong about that. So that's the point. You can't stop it. People like what they like, and they are interested in what they're interested in. Not everyone keeps their interest in something. Eventually they may just drop it. And that's the whole point. It's just, you can't stop it. Because it's to everyone. It's a majority. If a majority of people don't care about something anymore, then chances are it's gonna die down. It's what happens. I'm moving on. Okay, so Frosty, you requested one that I'm gonna give a Mishy Bug here. This is a good one. Yeah, I saw. So this is what Frosty requested. Maybe you should try and talk about some way the community can evolve and what the main issue kind of let your voice be heard to the overall community. Be more specific. Try and discuss theories on what will happen when the GD dies and the future predictions. Okay. What did you say about me? Anyway, so the main thing that Frosty was requesting with this was, what do I think will happen to the game in the future when it starts to die down? And how will it die? And to answer that question, there are games that are losing. Like, there's some games out there that were very popular when they came out, and they're starting to die out now. For instance, Team Fortress 2, a game that I played a lot of. I don't really play much of it anymore, but it's dying off because there's less updates, and the updates are messed up. There's a lot less people working on the game, and in general, it's just losing its spark, and that's for a lot of people. And that's why that game is starting to slowly die off. Its popularity is starting to diminish a little bit. Geometry Dash, I think, will probably go in the same way, because Geometry Dash is worked on just by RobTop. Only RobTop works on it. And that might be the biggest problem why updates are really slow, is because he's the only one working on it. He should really try and get someone else to work with him, because he has enough money to hire someone. But I think the biggest thing that might happen to it is RobTop will run out of ideas on how to update it, and he'll do one of two things: stop updating the game entirely, or start adding weird things to the game to try and keep updates going, to keep people happy, and it starts making people unhappy, and it's just all a mess. I think the death of this game is when it's been around for too long. Kinda like with the Team Fortress 2 situation. Even though that game can be saved if Valve actually cared about it, that's a different story. But this game, it's hard to go into it, because we don't know how it will die. It'll die in some way. We know this game can't stay alive forever. But if you were to ask me, I think chances are it will just die from old age. All games die from old age. All games obsolesce. And Geometry Dash and Team Fortress 2 are two games you can't speedrun. Because, for instance, GoldenEye 64, you know that game, right? GoldenEye is a really old game, and no one really plays it anymore, except for speedrunners. But that game can be speedrun. That's what's keeping it alive, is the speedrunning aspect to it. Geometry Dash can't be speedrun. Can't be speedrun. There's no speedrun to it. So, really, all that's keeping it alive is the community itself. And I think the biggest downfall for this game that will eventually bring it to its grave one day is the community and the fact that how the game's simplistic. You can only have so many things into it. You can only update it so much. Eventually, either updates are going to have to stop overall altogether, or the updates are going to be so weird and stupid that the game just loses its whole point, and it becomes worse because of it. And that's really it. Okay. This next topic I'm going to is it's old. It's an old topic, but it's a topic that I recently found out about myself. Because this was going on in a time when I wasn't really active in the community. I was kind of slowing down, which is why I probably didn't see it. But I'm not going to go too deep into the details of it, because I personally hate it, and I don't want to leak it. If you're curious about what I'm talking about, just look it up if you want, because it's public knowledge, so I can't stop it. But it's something I personally really despise, and it's something I didn't know about. Now knowing about it, it's a topic that probably wouldn't be much of an issue if it wasn't for the fact that these players played Geometry Dash and they were known in the community. Because if they weren't playing GD, this stuff would have not been public. But unfortunately they did, and it got public, and it just got everywhere, and was bad. It's a topic about the Lithy Fusion situation. And this one was one of the very rare situations, rare cases of actual drama, like actual drama happening in this community. Because I've said many times before, the word drama is so stretched out. The meaning of the word drama is so unbelievably stretched out in this community. But this one was a rare instance of actual drama. And for those of you who don't know, I forgot the guy's name, but a friend of Lithy Fusion leaked private DM conversation that got exploded to huge. It just got crazy. Things he said in that private DM that people made fun of, and just all that. And I'm not going to say what it was about. I'm not going to say the details of what happened. In fact, I'm not even going to say much about my opinion on certain other things. It's just one thing I want to talk about. Because the Lithy Fusion situation, I say that both Lithy Fusion and the other person was in the wrong. Lithy Fusion was in the wrong because he just blew it up a little more than it should have been. It's just some things he did, but the DMs that were leaked was about him saying private stuff, very private stuff, and things that he was admitting to someone he trusted. And the things in question were questionable, right? But my big problem with it, though, with the person leaking that information, was the fact that he leaked it, because I myself have quirks about myself, right? We all do, but I have some quirks about myself. And I'm not public about some of those things because, well, it's my own private information. And a friend of mine, I am very open with, and I tell him pretty much everything. He's the one person in my life that I can open up anything, I can say anything to, and he's the one person I open up with. But it's private information that I was willing to share, right? It's very private, it's embarrassing, it's all of that. I have some quirks. I express that to that person, but this entire situation that happened with Lithyfusion was the fact that how that same situation where Lithyfusion admitted very embarrassing and private information to someone because he trusted them, this person leaked that information. And that honestly annoys me, it pisses me off, because it doesn't matter unless Lithyfusion literally went insane and just did horrible things. It is very wrong to leak private DMs, especially when it's about what was said. And it's annoying to me because I have things about myself too, and I have people that I have expressed those things to. I have my private information, we all do. And there's some people that I open up to. And when I found out about all this, it just makes me worry and fear about the same thing happened to me, right? Like imagining someone who I open up to leaks this information, and it just, I don't like it. I really don't. Because I'm one of those people who do have private information, and just thinking of that happening to me, especially in a community that I half the time respect, it's devastating. It would be devastating. It would ruin my reputation, and it would just, it also, no, just no. Just no. It's messed up. It's messed up. Because what Lithyfusion said, it was very, very private information. Information that he obviously wouldn't say to anyone else but who he trusted. I've seen it. And you know what? Seeing that and knowing that it's public information, it was bad. Because it was something, I don't want to go into it, because it's just, I'll say it like this. What he did, what he said he did, which I do believe he probably did it, he just wants to cover it, and disagree with it, but what he did, and what he said he did in those DMs, was not wrong. Okay? Because he didn't actually do anything that was said. He didn't do any of that. What he did was him just being curious, you could say. That's all I'm gonna say. And I understand that. I fully understand that. So personally, me, if you were to ask me, I have no problem with what Lithyfusion said he did. And if he actually did it, I have no problem with that. Yes, it's disgusting, but at the same time, I can understand his point of view on things. We are all curious. He didn't actually do anything. So, you know what? I'll say it's fine. I'm fine with it. But my biggest problem was all the people who made it public knowledge. And Lithyfusion was one of those people. It wouldn't have been as bad until he made his video, and it made it even more public. But it got even worse when all these other GD players and YouTubers who made it even more public. And I do agree that LithyFusion might have gotten a little too defensive, but at the same time, I understand why he got defensive, because if I was in his shoes, I would be upset. I would be irate. I could even say I would have been hysterical. It was a bad, no. But some people just made it too public. It was business they shouldn't have cared about, they shouldn't have gone into, and they made it public. And it was just a situation that could have been avoided, shouldn't have happened, and it did. And it gets to me on a personal level because I have my own quirks. And thinking of something like what happened to LithyFusion happened to me just devastates me, because it's wrong. You don't leak DMs. Yep, I had a feeling about that. I had a really good feeling about that. While I'm talking, I'm gonna quickly fix that. I had a pretty good feeling that it would be messed up. Yep, a lot of the invite codes are now broken because the channel that they're invited to is messed up now, I think. So let me quickly try and fix. Yeah, my invite is gone now. I need to fix that. Hold on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is rules and info. Yeah, it did. It was a problem. Gentlemen's Club category. Invites. Create one. Oh, an invite link. Hold on. No limit. I want it to never expire. Generate new link. I want to copy that link. I'm gonna quickly back at 1 second. I'm just quickly fixing this problem. Okay. So, but yeah, that's my whole opinion on the LithyFusion situation. I know it's something that's been passed, it's been taken care of, it's bad, it's long gone from drama. We all know what happened, we all know who was in the right, who was in the wrong, blah blah blah. But yeah. Let me quickly just fix this problem while I'm talking. You know, I should probably take care of it later. I'll take care of it. I'll bring it up. I'll take care of it. But yeah. One second. Now, mind you, even though this is a GD podcast, it doesn't have to be solely GD topics, mind you. So feel free to bring up any other topics other than GD. So just keep that in mind. 1 second, I'm just quickly changing things up here. Make sure everything's fine. About I'm gonna edit this. Dream Team Discord. Done. There we go. Okay, that's fixed. I'll have to fix the other thing later. I'll have to fix the other thing later. But if the entire community was here to watch this, I'd probably get a bunch of people hating on me for it. No, in the community. I'm not saying the community is messed up for that. Everyone has their opinion, but it's just, I want to try. Of course, I'm making these podcasts, and they all have controversial subjects about the community, but I wanted to try and avoid conflict as much as possible in this community, as much as I can. I don't want conflict to happen, let alone drama. I don't want that to happen because it's something I'm trying to avoid best I can. Let's go outside. Nah, man. Take him out. Nah. Oh, we have one topic mentioned by Hayden. What if GT was never released on Steam? One, I would have never played it. Yeah, I would have never played it for one. For two, chances are it wouldn't be as big as it is now. Cause yeah, it was one of the, in fact, I think at one time it was the most popular app on the App Store. But at the same time, I don't think it would have been as big as it is now. The game, Geometry Dash, wouldn't have been as big as it is now if it was never released on Steam. Mainly because of how much was able to happen because of it being on Steam. Not to mention, at the time there wasn't 144 hertz phones, so things like Bloodbath and whatnot may have never came out due to the fact how mobile Geometry Dash would be really hard. And straight flying would be extremely difficult to pull off. His ball. Oh, okay. But yeah, that's what I think. It would have been as big as it is now. Atkins, really? So we're not talking about World War One. Beautiful. Should blame for World War One. Well, I mean, I can't remember. I don't remember much about World War One. I was studying World War Two here recently. Kind of forgot some of World War One. Talk about I don't know. You know that. Next topic. There are some topics. I don't even know that. I don't think we went into that topic. Why are we talking about social studies? It's summer vacation. Let's talk about Donald Trump. No, let's not get into that topic. That's gonna be #1 way to ruin the comment section and podcasts in general. Forever banned YouTube account. Okay, what we can talk about. Let's talk about what I am on right now, YouTube. That's one topic I kinda wanna talk about. YouTube, what is wrong with it? Everything. YouTube is messed up. YouTube's no. Right now it's reached the point to where YouTube is just falling apart. Because what YouTube is trying to do is it's trying to become mass media. The one thing that made YouTube different from everything else was it was different. It was different. That's why it was different from everything else. It was unique. It was unlike all forms of mass media, including television, and it was more interactive and all that. And it had personalities that weren't highly paid, just fashionable, blah 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 movie stars. It was just random people on the internet who were making content. And it changed it. It changed everything. I don't care about the royal marriage anyway. It changed everything. It changed how people viewed media. But the problem is that, with that being said, it's falling apart because YouTube right now is trying to become mass media. That's his problem. It's trying to become mass media. And the reason why you can tell this by YouTube is trying to bring in people like The Rock Johnson, few other people that I don't know about because I don't care about pop culture nowadays. Things like that. They're trying to become a business in mass media, and it's ruining the site. And we all know this, right? It's like no one care. YouTube doesn't care about their fan base anymore. They don't care about who uses their site. They only care about money, and they only care about becoming mass media. Because mass media is more profitable. Because as YouTube being something different, they don't get as much money, and they have to pay other people. They're getting sick of that. They want more money. So they're trying to become mass media because it's more profitable and more advertisers like mass media. And they don't care about the people who made their site popular because they aren't profitable. They swear. They sometimes talk about topics that advertisers may not like. YouTube has things they don't like, blah blah blah. In the end, it's a matter of they don't like it. Hey, Ghost, they don't like it anymore. They want as much money as possible, and advertisers don't like the popular YouTubers, so they only want like people who don't swear or censor swears. They want people who are like on television, because you know television programs has swears that are censored and blah blah blah. Advertisers love that. They don't like having their brand put on the face that swears. Even though swearing isn't a problem, I don't care about it. It's still, advertisers don't like it. So they get less money. YouTube is trying to just go straight to, oh, I want more money. So they're just trying to demonetize everyone who swears and all that. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You should quickly turn back and watch this again because it's on DVR. You can turn back, but if you want to, of course. But yeah, it's trying to become mass media. All right, next topic. Frosty MC talk about why people with interest in GD becomes oversaturated in some cases and unsaturated. Saturated. Well, yeah, pretty much. It's a matter of, I don't think there's any oversaturation when it comes to interest in Geometry Dash at this point. And that's obvious. Not everyone is overly interested in it. I'd say the closest form of oversaturation may be clickbait. Because some people do a bunch of top 10s and blah blah blah, it gets them a lot of views, and people are still doing that. And of course, things like that. I guess that's the closest thing to oversaturation, but undersaturation is common in this community, mainly because people are just losing interest in this game, and that's normal. That's perfectly normal. That's expected, actually. The game's a bit old, and you can only have so much popularity that lasts for so long with a game that's two-dimensional. It was originally a mobile game. There's only so much you can have. So, with that being said, there's really no problem with oversaturation, undersaturation, with interest in the game, because everyone can lose interest in a game. And with a game like Geometry Dash, the interest of it can only last for so long. Really, the main reason why this game is still alive is because of the community and the levels. And I'd say the levels are the main reason why it's still huge. The game is still going on, it's still moving on because of the levels. So I'm basically saying that the creators of the game are probably the main reason why this game's still alive right now. But in all reality, if it wasn't for the creators and the people, this would just be a mobile game that's on the computer that no one really cares about and just plays for fun or for rage. But outside of that, it's mainly the community that's keeping it going. And that's one reason why I still respect the community, despite its problems, is because regardless of what problems are going on with the Geometry Dash community, it's what's keeping this game alive. It's content, it's people, it's personalities, it's creators, it's what's keeping this game relevant in people's minds. So, as a community does have problems, it is keeping this game going, and that's the good thing. That's the main thing about games. Games can't keep going without a community. And this game's community is good enough to keep it going. I'll say a community is still good if it's keeping the topic going. And Geometry Dash is still going because of what's going on. All these levels, blah blah blah. but you can tell it's starting to lose its relevancy. Back in 2016 and 2015, this game was huge. Though more people are playing it nowadays, it's not as, like, loved, in a sense. Quote unquote loved, in a sense. Ghost says, some people are thinking RobTop doesn't care about the game anymore. Some people are saying that... Well, that's the thing, Ghost, is that my opinion on that is... I have a few opinions on that. One, it's worth noting he was the one who decided to put this game on Steam. But it's worth to keep in mind, this game was originally a mobile game. This game was originally meant for a mobile device, and keep in mind, a mobile game usually doesn't have a bunch of stuff into it. So, with the high demand of updates constantly flowing through for what originally was a mobile game, with a game creator who isn't that skilled with coding, he's good enough to make a basic game like Geometry Dash, but he isn't skilled enough with coding and game programming to create a AAA game. He is under a community who's asking a lot of him when all he wanted was to make a basic game. And all that stress can make anyone just want to stop trying and just say, you know what, I need a break. I'm getting sick and tired of trying to make all these things. They're expecting me to make a AAA game out of a game that was made for a mobile device. And yeah, the staff, RobTop needs staff. He needs to hire people. But one problem is we're pushing him too much, which is pushing him away from the game. Second of all, the community is a little meh, and he may not like that. Third of all, he has a family. Alright? He has a family. He is a single person working on a game that has tens of thousands of active players every day. He has to be trying to keep it under maintenance and keep it working all the time. And he's one person, and he has a family he has to take care of. And he has to spend time with. He can't dedicate his entire life to this game because he has a family. Mix the fact that how he has a family with everything else to where he is expected for so much. It all together just it probably stresses him out. RobTop is probably stressed out and is pushing him away from working on this game. Personally, I can't blame RobTop for slowing down and working on the game, because he's been working on this game alone for years now. He's probably getting a little tired of it. Second of all, the community is a little meh, and he may see that and he's getting a little. He wishes it was a little better. Third, he has a family he has to take care of, and this rolls into the fourth point, to where people are wanting him to add so much into what originally was a mobile game that grew big, and now he's expecting them to add some amazing stuff to it to keep it going. So, Frosty, you can just copy this recording. This will be recorded. It's recorded. Like, it will be up shortly after I'm done. You can just send it with a URL with a timestamp. Anyway, but RobTop is being pushed away because he made this game to have a mobile game up on Play Store. He wasn't expecting it to get this big. He wasn't expecting a community to surround it. He wasn't expecting anything like that. He was just expecting people to play it because it's like a rage game. And now people are expecting him to make a AAA game out of it, and it stresses him out. And it pushes him away from it. It would push me away from a game if I was forced to do something that I wasn't expecting to do. If I made a mobile game, I wouldn't expect to have to work on it so much. It's a mobile game. And yes, it was RobTop's choice to put it on Steam, but even then, it was still a Steam game that originated from a mobile game. In the end, it still was a mobile game. And yet, people are just demanding so much of RobTop. And that's why I respect him so much for it. He's... yeah. And just all that. That's my opinion on it. Of course, we all have our own opinions on certain things. A lot of people have their own opinions on RobTop, but that's my opinion. So yeah, that's my opinion on him. Let me scroll up here. Okay. What else? I'll wait for the chat to come with something because I can't think of anything else. My main thing I wanted to talk about was Lithy Fusion's situation because I read about it, watched videos about it, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. I had to say something about it, otherwise it would just bother me. Memes, okay. What else? I honestly can't think of anything else right now. Sometimes I run out of ideas. Do you like stick? Okay, these are some interesting questions of what? So we got an amazing question, very important from Waffles. Said, "Is the Boston Massacre really a massacre? Why?" Oh, Ghost, you're gonna have to watch this back again because you kind of came in late. Massacre. The Boston Massacre, you know, the thing that happened, I don't know, about 300 years ago. Anyway, yes, it was. Because a bunch of people died for no reason. A bunch of people died, right? Right. What do you say about some kind of Geometry Dash 2 Remastered Edition? No! No. The number one rule with a game, is if it is heavily based on people and multiplayer things, blah blah blah. Like, you know, if a community surrounds a game heavily, don't make a second one or a third one about it. You can create like spin-offs of a popular game that has a community around it. You can do that if you want, but don't make a new game, because all that will do is just it will just rip popularity with both the first game and the second game. Because obviously the second game, it's an off-brand, it's a new version of an old game that was already dying out slowly, but still it was dying out. And second of all, trying to make a second game to bring the game back to life won't work, because making, what is that in the background? Hold on. Anyways, trying to get more popular for a game by making a second version of a game, yes, for a short bit it will raise the popularity and make it relevant for a short while, and then the game will die off again. And all it'll do is confuse content creators. It'll confuse them to think of, am I supposed to continue making videos on this game, the first game, or do I make videos on this game? It's like, what do I do? What should I focus on? Because making a second Geometry Dash game, what about all these other levels? What about these amazing levels? Digital Descent, Black Blizzard, Bloodbath, all these other levels. All of a sudden, these are just forgotten because a new game's out, right? Who cares about these old levels? We got a new game. Screw those levels, you know, those levels that were very important and made the community what it is now. Screw those levels, we got this new game. Let's make new videos on this new game. Let's make new content in this new game. After a very short while, it'll make people just completely stop the game altogether, because they don't know what they're supposed to do. Are they supposed to record videos of an old game that has old levels? Or record videos on this new game that doesn't have levels they want to play? It just doesn't make sense. You don't do that. We got this amazing question from GD Goes. Why are hands called hands but feet ain't called hands? You know? No, I do not. Because that question makes absolutely no sense. Why are hands called hands? You can research that. But feet ain't called hands. That doesn't make sense. So I say go left is my answer to that question. Go left. Okay. I don't really see any reason to talk about that. How long have we been going for? 46 minutes. That's the funny thing about this, is that there's not much going on in the community right now. So that's the interesting thing about it. So there's not much going on, so there's not much else that I'm going to talk about. Any news I can talk about? Wait. Now hold on a minute. Now hold on there, sir. What is this I see? Wait, what? Hold on. 1 second. I'm reading something here. Wait. Wait, what? Now hold on a minute. There's this show I really love called Roseanne, that I watched the original seasons of, and of course the new season. Now, what's going on here? Nuh-uh. That better not be true. Apparently it said that this person named Roseanne, who's in the star of the show, made a racist comment on a tweet. And they're thinking of stopping it. Apparently there's a moment where Trump weighs on the racist Roseanne Barr tweet, accused ABC of double standard. Interesting. And Roseanne's been up about Roseanne Barr. No! No, I'm trying to read something. They better not stop Roseanne. They better not. No. Don't start that crap. Don't you dare. No. I hope they don't do that. That'd be messed up, man. Anyway. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. Until more topics come into the community, there's not much else to talk about. Because we don't have, like, movies to talk about. Because I haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet. I want to. I really would, but have not. And yeah, I guess that's it. So, thanks for coming. I hope you all enjoyed, and woo and wham and bam. And remember not to fly to space, because if you don't have helmet, you, do die. it's pretty cool. Bye.